what I love about Nicole. She is a mother who plays, really plays.
What I love about Charlie.
He loves being a dad. He loves all the things you're supposed to hate, like waking up at night.
She knows when to push me and when to leave me alone.
He never lets other people keep him from what he wants to do.
Dad, you're too far.
I know. It's not easy for her to close a cabinet.
He's incredibly neat.
She's brave.
He's brilliant. He's very competitive.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Film Optics, and today we're going to be reviewing Marriage Story. My name is Christian and I have Devin here today. How you doing today, buddy?
Howdy, partner.
Howdy, partner. You know what? This movie spoke volumes to me, and I got to see it early. I was very privileged to see it early. Marriage Story. This is what we're going to be reviewing here today, folks. And before we get into our review, you can listen to our podcast here on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Anchor, and Spotify. And you can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram, all previously mentioned at Film Optics. Optics is spelled O-P-T-I-X. So give us a follow on Instagram. We actually literally just launched that a few days ago. I finally just said, let's just do it. I feel like it'd be a lot of fun. So go ahead and give us a follow, and we'll give you a follow back. And let's just get straight into the review really quick. So Marriage Story has released finally to the public. It came out yesterday on December 6th on Netflix. So I was very excited to rewatch this again. And let me just Let me read the synopsis here really quick. So the best synopsis I can give to you right now is that a stage director and his actor wife struggle through a grueling coast-to-coast divorce that pushes them to their personal and creative extremes. In short, this movie is about incisive and passionate and compassionate look at a marriage breakup and a family trying to stay together in the process. And this was directed by my boy Noah Baumbach and stars Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver, and Merritt Weaver, just to name a few. And Laura Dern as well. She is in this movie as one of the lawyers. So Devin, what did you think about this movie? You saw this yesterday, right?
Yep.
Any initial thoughts?
I thought it was really good.
Well, that's really nice to hear, buddy.
Yeah. I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Yeah, he was like, I thought it was good. He's like, all right, a man of few words. That's all there is to say. All right, that concludes our review.
It might be the best acted movie of the year.
I agree, and I've been preaching this for a long time. I said this on a Honeyboy review, since I saw this at the Nashville Film Festival. And I couldn't really talk about it with anyone, as I said before. And it's just, this movie is just wow. And it takes an emotional toll on you. And there's such a struggle between, who's more right? Is Charlie more right? Is Nicole right? What's happening with their son? And I forgot the son's name already. I'm drawing a blank on his name. But it's such a power struggle that, they want to make this work. Clearly, they did not want to get a divorce during the beginning. And, they wanted to handle it all on their own terms without having lawyers get involved and have this become a legal matter. And then it just, I think with Scarlett Johansson's character, Nicole, she snaps because, we get that very long monologue of what happened between them and, how she met Charlie and how they fell in love. And Charlie's it seems that he's more self-centered, but at the same time,
the son's name was Henry, by the way.
Henry, that's I was gonna say Henry. I'm like, that's not right. It was right. So thank you for confirming that for me. But I love this film, and even coming from a family who never experienced this divorce, it spoke to me on a different level because college I was in a relationship, and we it got toxic after a while, and this story definitely gets toxic. I definitely felt some of the same emotions going through rewatching this film. We weren't married or anything, obviously, but it spoke to me more on a personal level because of the relationship fighting aspect, and that's really where it hit home for me. And I'm rooting for both of these characters, man. I just don't know what to do. What about
it? It didn't hit for me quite as hard as I think it hit you, just because I haven't been married, I haven't had a kid.
Well, I haven't. Well, as far as
I mean, neither of us have. But
yeah,
I think if I was married or had a kid, that this definitely would hit a lot harder.
Yeah, I really just try to place myself in these characters' shoes and just, I don't know. I got lost in this movie, and
Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson are just they're perfect.
And Adam Driver was the supporting actor. Scarlett Johansson was the lead.
Yeah,
oh man,
I love our thick king Adam Driver.
that mane, it's crazy. All that hair. It's these are both actors coming from hugely successful franchises that from Disney. You have Marvel and Star Wars, and no, not every single person who plays in a super popular franchise is going to have the best of luck afterwards, or like the next best role. So far we've gotten Chris Evans and Knives Out, and we obviously have Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson and Marriage Story, and Scarlett Johansson again in Jojo Rabbit, and we had Adam Driver in Black Klansman last year, and he was in The Dead Don't Die. That movie wasn't like the best, but I still thought it was pretty funny. But it's kind of a give or take. Not everyone's gonna go moving on to like the next big bad thing, because honestly, like the big things are here. It's Star Wars, it's Marvel, it's DC, it's anything else enter pop culture reference here. So like these are the big guys, and I like it when these actors, their next projects are more of a smaller scale film, and that really just speaks to the heart. You get Karen Gillan, she's doing the Jumanji Next Level, and it's all over the place. I know some people say that there's a Marvel curse or like a Disney curse. I don't necessarily believe that, because those are the big films that are out right now. I don't know.
Well, I've never heard of such thing, and it's malarkey.
It's malarkey. It is malarkey, absolutely. So, Ray Liotta is also in this film.
Yeah, nice little cameo.
Nice little cameo. I thought he was great. I thought he was fantastic. You're going to start from, a place of crazy. We're going to start from a place of reasonable. At the end, it's going to be between reasonable and crazy.
Which is just crazy.
Which is, he was like half crazy is still crazy. He played the heck out of that role, man, for such a small role. I mean, him and Laura Dern going back and forth at it made me feel like, I was like, did these two have like a past that we don't know about? Because it definitely...
I also really like the smaller attorney, like the softer one, I guess you could say.
He goes up to Adam Driver. You reminded me of my second marriage. Second? What are you talking about, man? Hold on. But
it was also funny to see that the Burt attorney was exactly what Charlie was looking for, but it still didn't work out, because it's just how messy divorces are.
Yeah, this movie really gives you a great insight as how draining emotionally and just financially everything it costs for a divorce. And it's great, you can't Charlie's trying to get a lawyer at the last second, and he can't go to someone who his partner has previously talked to, even though they decided not to go with that person.
They found themselves attacking each other too.
Yeah. Oh man. And I just want to really touch on, so this Marriage Story did premiere at the Venice Film Festival back in August, and it does have some of a limited theatrical release, so you can find it in some theaters. But I feel like a lot more people just watching it on Netflix.
It's probably just New York and LA.
Probably. Yeah. New York versus LA. Here we go again. Which one is going to get the higher box office?
We're a New York family. We always have been.
And he kept saying that over and over, and I understand that. But like he kind of got screwed, because he got served in LA. His son was born in LA. His wife is from LA. So it's like, so the court, it's going to seem like they're a LA family, but they have not spent like not even an entire year together in LA. If so, it was a very, very short time, and they've always lived in New York. But I wish it, I mean, it kind of touches on why Charlie doesn't like LA, because it's pretty much, small Broadway, theater versus like the big leagues, Hollywood, making films, TV shows out on, Sunset Boulevard or wherever.
I thought it was cool that she became a director too, after soaking in all that Charlie gave her.
Yeah, that is definitely something that she was aspiring, and we hear all these problems of why, what it started with, how for Nicole. I definitely feel like we got a sense with Charlie, but I wish would have gotten a little bit more of his side as to where everything went wrong, because I feel like it is a bit one-sided. Because they're saying, Charlie's thinks about nothing for himself. It's like, yeah, you see that. But at the same time, he does care at the same time. But I wish that's like my one small little gripe is that I wish we would have gotten his side of the story when it comes to that. But, but he didn't really make it better for himself by sleeping with the stage manager.
Yeah.
In that scene, man, the apartment scene. The second
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the best quote unquote fight scenes. Obviously there's no punching or there's nothing physical or anything, but just the intensity and the emotion that you felt in that small little apartment. It's one of the best scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah, honestly, and I think in that scene is like what, a 21 minute scene explains why people love film and why people love watching TV, and just that raw emotion. I don't think I've ever seen that in any like movie I've ever watched, any TV show I've ever watched, any book I've ever read. It just felt very raw, and that's where it started hitting me the most. And say what you will about Scarlett Johansson, but she is one of the best actors.
It's the year of ScarJo.
It is the year of ScarJo. It's also the year of the Reeves, the Keanu Reeves.
But seriously, you got Endgame. Endgame got some tearjerker.
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit, just tears. And then this, she's just
and
evoking emotion
she's
everywhere.
Black Widow next year with her girl Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
She's got it made. She's killing it. She is absolutely killing it. And pretty much any film that Scarlett Johansson's been in has been pretty well received. She is also a child actor, just much like Shia LaBeouf. We were talking about that in our Honey Boy review. She's been doing this for a very, very long time. But this film really did, it broke me. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, it left me thinking about it for the past few days. And
yeah,
I think this movie is this is a definition of a realistic, modern love story, but not the ones that we're used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Going back to the fight scene, I was looking at some trivia. Apparently it took 50 takes to do that fight scene, and they had to do it all in one take. So every time they had to restart every time for a new take, the entire scene. Imagine doing that 50 times. I can't. The amount of emotion they have to output. Yes.
And also, wanted to add really quick, during when they were filming this, Scarlett Johansson was going through the divorce herself. So I feel like, she definitely had a lot of emotion built up from that, and kind of, I feel like this is the perfect film for her.
And Adam Driver's parents divorced when he was younger, so
I did not know
they both had experience. And I also thought it was funny that the attorney that Laura Dern plays, they based that character off of an attorney that ScarJo and Laura Dern actually had in real life for divorcing.
Oh my God.
So apparently they got some inspiration there. Pretty interesting.
As much as I love Laura Dern in that movie, she got underneath my skin so much. Especially
she didn't bother me that much.
My first viewing, I was like, I do not like her. But she played her part really, really well. But I was just like, oh man, especially when Ray Liotta in that court scene, they were just. The
claws were out.
The claws were out, and you had Adam Driver and then Scarlett they were just sitting there. They didn't even say a word. They were so
they felt bad.
And it was like, they're intentionally taking jabs at each other, and with Adams, with Charlie, whatever, he's putting all the money that he got from that MacArthur grant or whatever it was, but putting back into his own theater. But then he's taking shots at Nicole, saying, oh, she drinks and blah, 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 all this other stuff. She's been unstable. And it's like, and they kind of, and that leads up to that, the fight scene in the apartment. But it was
it's all realistic though. That's the best part. It's
so
all
realistic.
It's all real.
And I think there's a lot of messages that in this movie that married couples and those are who are soon to be wed can take away from this film. Definitely reminds you
Prenup.
Prenup. You better get that prenup. Always. But that's more of a personal choice. But just don't let your partner catch you there if you decide to go through with it. But it definitely reminds you not to take your partner for granted, and it just shows how love can truly can bring out the best and quite literally the worst in each other. I really like the beginning of this film where they're talking about all.
Yes, I was just gonna bring that up. The opening scene was very powerful, and it brings you right into their life and their story. It was very well done.
It was just the minute details and just the small little things. It's not just, oh, I love Nicole so much, she's great, she's the mother of my child, blah 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 blah. It was just, she brews these pots of tea that she just leaves around the house, and
it's the little things that you only notice when you love someone.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And here's a piece of trivia about that opening montage. It was shot on handheld, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Was it really?
And they said it was to highlight the ordinary moments that often go unnoticed during a day, but are pointed out by someone who loves you. And it also sets up how these ordinary moments don't go away, even though circumstances change. So that's pretty beautiful if you think about that more.
Oh, that's mind blowing. Oh, I did not know that they shot it on handheld. Wow. It
makes it feel like more important moments.
Yeah, it makes me love the movie even more, man. It's just, we all know, when lawyers get involved, it just makes things more complicated, and I don't really have any issues with this film. I really do not. Like, I'm trying to think of, they kind of touch on Charlie's parents, but that's not really important. The only thing really is, I guess I would have to say, is that, where did the trouble start for Charlie? We know where the trouble started for Nicole.
We didn't get a lot of Charlie's side of things. Yeah,
but I think the killer part, because I think this is where we kind of disagree, as you were saying, everything ends well. I don't personally think that, because it's like, especially towards the very end where, Scarlett, she has a new boyfriend, and Henry's reading the letter that, what they were supposed to be sharing with each other during their therapy session about what they love about each other so much. And Adam Driver just breaks down. And I was like, just get that together already.
I didn't see that coming. They kept setting up throughout the whole movie that Henry is trying to learn how to read and that he doesn't know how to read very well.
Yeah.
And then they just hit you with that at the end. It's just like, whoa.
I was just like, damn, man, what could have been? It's always been Charlie and Nicole.
The reason I think it's a happy ending. Well, first of all, in the synopsis, it does say that the movie's about a family staying together, which is kind of happy ending.
Yeah, and they do learn to work it out in their own way. I guess the only thing is, like, even after, the courts settled down and Laura Dern's like, oh, well, I got you a little bit more than what you were asking for. And then Nicole's like, well, I didn't want that. That's his. I forgot what it was, but it was kind of like, I guess, like a little extra. She's like, oh, I just wanted to kind of do that, because when it comes to lawyers, they're fighting for their clients.
They want to win.
Yeah, they definitely want to win, and I feel like they kind of lose sight sometimes of what their client is asking for. But it does show how much they definitely care about each other, still. And man, I felt bad for Adam Driver throughout the entire film because it's like he's trying to hang out with his son, but he's got all this stuff going on, and he's trying to make it work for his son. He even says in the movie, he needs to know that I fought for him and that I didn't just like, they even say with the older lawyer, he's like, parents often fight for that time and they don't even use it. They just say it to say that they won. So it's.
But yeah, I do think it was happy because at the end, obviously, Charlie mentions that he gets a job at UCLA, so he can move in and be close with the other two, which is good to see them work it out in the end because it could have gotten a lot uglier.
Oh yeah, it could have gotten way uglier, and I would have agreed with you there. It's just, man, what could have been, and even like they still fall back into it even towards the end of the movie where Scarlett's like tying his shoe and she like pats him kind of like on the ankle to kind of signifies that, and they just fall into it even when Adam's like leaving, I guess, their mother's house, and Nicole's like, she's like, your hair's getting kind of shaggy, and he's like, yeah, I gotta find a barber. She's like, you want me to cut it? And he's like, yeah, okay. And it just shows that they are still comfortable around each other, but it's like, man, what could have been? It was like they were so close. I thought that letter was gonna bring them back together, and just I don't know, man. I'm a loss for words right now. So do you want to go into scores?
Yeah.
What would you give this out of 100 storybooks in your mind?
I'm gonna go with a 90. I think I saw somewhere that this might be your favorite of the year.
Yeah,
maybe we'll find out in a future video.
As you couldn't tell, from all the posts that I make, and I'm giving this. It's a tie between this and Parasite, dude. Like, I'm giving this a 98 out of 100.
98.
98. It is a fantastic film, and if it ever comes out on physical media, you bet your sweet puppies I will.
And anybody can watch it because everyone has Netflix. If you don't have Netflix,
literally everyone has Netflix. It is the old and reliable of any streaming service out there.
And their movie game is stepping up exponentially.
It really is. It really is. Because a lot of these films on Netflix, Bright, aren't that good, and a few others just aren't all that great. But this, you get some A-list actors in there, and hey, we already see what can happen. But that will conclude the review of Marriage Story for us here. My name is Christian, and Devin is here with me as always. Thank you again, buddy, for coming on. And before we close out here today, you can listen to this review on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, and Anchor. And also you can find us on Twitter and Instagram. All the previous platforms mentioned, you can find us at Film Optics. Optics is spelled OPTIX. And we are doing a giveaway for Matt Reeves' trilogy for Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It's going to be digital codes. That's going to start here on this Sunday on the 9th. And on Monday the 9th. And I will pick the winner on Sunday the 15th. So keep a lookout for that while following us on Instagram and Twitter to keep up with all that juicy goodness there. And I believe that does it for this review, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.